Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Titus and I am very excited to make this video purely because number one, we have finally moved into our property that we have been building, and I have been speaking about this for quite a long time now, but finally we're here. So a lot of those other things that I've been posting in the past were actually pre-recorded purely because it was really hard to film whilst we were still moving, and there was about 2 to 3 weeks that we were just moving all our things, and until now we haven't fully settled. But this is my office area where I usually work, and as you can already see, I've got tons and tons of plants. After lockdown and when all the nurseries and big box stores have opened up, I just went crazy and bought so many plants, well, a lot of plants, and I just want to share with you guys some of those plants. Some of the plants that I've actually obtained were from my previous wish lists, and I'm so glad to have finally obtained some of these just before 2020 had finished. So I hope that you guys stick around to see all those different plants that I have. All right, let's get started. Alright, so the first one on my list is this Philodendron Sunrise. I think that's what it's called. Oh, it actually says here, Philodendron Red Sun. Okay, so here is that tiny Philodendron Red Sun. I hope that this thing will focus, okay? So this one was actually much more redder than it was before, and it is a tiny plant to start off with, okay? However, it just stuck out to me when I saw this, and I've never seen it anywhere before. It was from a local plant nursery. After I've seen it and bought one, I've never seen it thereafter, so I'm glad to have finally purchased one. There's an adult version of it that looks like this, and apparently as it grows older it kind of loses the red red hues of it, and then it just starts to turn green. However, I hope that this one will maintain its redness, so we'll just see how we go. Alright, so the second plant, even though the first one was really small, this one is really big, and you guys can see a bit of it here already in the camera, and that is the baby Japanese maple. Okay, it's a baby, but it's probably one of the biggest plants that I've obtained in this plant haul. As you can see, it's so massive. Alright, how majestic is that when you look at it? Okay, look at it. Okay, and I was very fortunate enough to have spotted this for $25. Okay, so I don't know if that's a good price here in Australia for a Japanese maple, but certainly for me, I've never seen any Japanese maple like this, and it looks like it's been bonsai'd already, well, naturally. Okay, and then it costing that price. I feel like this is one of those plants that have been sitting down in the background whilst it was winter, sort of dying. They put it up on sale, and then during spring, which, you know, we're in spring right now in Australia, it just suddenly blossomed, and then I just found it in one corner for $25. So I was so fortunate, and I've again never seen any other Japanese maple this price. We love Japanese maple because the looks that it gives is so zen, like this relaxing kind of environment. And in fact, we bought 2 other trees which we will be putting outside. I know these plants can actually tolerate direct sunlight. This one is currently living in our bathroom at the moment purely because I just want to enjoy its luscious growth whilst it's still spring, whilst it still hasn't shed its leaves yet. So there you go, that's the second plant. Alright, the third plant on my plant frenzy is none other than, let me get this out. Alright, it's a Peperomia, okay, well, my favorite plant species so far, and this Peperomia is the Peperomia Turboensis. Okay, and I've told you guys before on my plant wish list that this had been one of the ones that I've been eyeing, and I have been so fortunate enough to find one that is so luscious, so healthy. As you can see, it's got that silver hue of leaf sheen on it, and it's got like black veining on it. How beautiful is that? And I've been so lucky to score one that's actually quite mature, healthy, and you know, 95% of its leaves are actually really good. It still needs to adjust to our environment here, but hopefully, you know, because it's summer, this one will just grow really well and establish its roots. So yeah, really happy about this. And again, another plant wish list ticked off. So really nice. Peperomia Turboensis right there. Alright, the fourth plant on my plant haul, which is also on my cover page, which you guys have seen, is none other than the Peperomia Watermelon, okay? And as common as it sounds, okay, because as soon as spring hit, they actually started selling these in Bunnings, but they weren't, I wouldn't say not legit, but they weren't that healthy. So I was really hunting for one, and again, in a local nursery that I found this really massive potted watermelon, and it's got like, I think 4 plants in there, and I just wanted to grow really nice and luscious. And I found that these leaves were really healthy, and they weren't deformed or anything, so I'm very lucky to have spotted this. So I hope that this one grows. Again, they're kind of like succulents, but you don't want to leave them too dry or too wet. Otherwise, they may end up shriveling up. Okay, so this one was actually $50. Even though it was quite expensive, I feel like it's honestly worth it. There's like four plants in there, and the plant is healthy. 95% of its leaves are healthy, so that is a bonus. Okay, so Peperomia Watermelon right here. So the next one on my list of plant haul, and I'm gonna lose track of count now, so I'm just gonna mention them, is this one, a Coleus. Okay, so I've just been seeing Coleus in Instagram before, but finally I've obtained one. Now Coleus comes in different forms, and I don't know what it is, but I've come to a liking to so many red plants, and I might make a separate video for it, like the Philodendron Red Sun, and now I've got this red Coleus, and I think these guys are just so majestic in how it looks, okay, and that bright red hues that it gives is just something that really attracted my eyes. Now the growth pattern of this, I'm thinking, is kind of like the oregano. So I might just prune that to make it like a lot bushier, but you know, this one is something that I've been eyeing before, and this is so cheap. This tiny plant, it might go expensive. I mean, it might become more expensive in future, but this one only costed $2.90, and I've never bought anything less than $5 or $10 here in Australia. No, less than $15 for this size. So that's a good buy, I reckon. Okay, it looks like a garden plant that people would really put in there. So yeah, Coleus right there. Alright, the next plant on my plant haul that I got is not red, not green, but in fact purple. Alright, can you guess what it is? Alright, so this one is a Oxalis Triangularis, I think that's what they call it. So at the moment, its leaves is actually, I don't even know what you'd call it, because it's not really wilting, but it's kind of down. So they react to sunlight, and usually they would open their leaves up. However, these ones I think had too much sunlight, so it retracted a bit. It can tolerate direct sunlight because I've been putting it in direct sunlight and it loves it. However, I thought maybe, you know, I'd put it out of direct sunlight for now to let its leaf just open up. And this one was actually for free. Okay, so there was a rare plant page where people were just expressing how much they bought one, and then one of the comments that I found said, oh, I've got heaps of this growing on my backyard, why is it so expensive? I could just give it for free. And it happened to be that they were just in the next suburb, so I was like, hey, can I grab one? When I grabbed it, it had more leaves actually, but it was so stressed that I had to cut all the leaves off, and then it just left me with the bulbs. Those bulbs I actually planted back in a terracotta pot because apparently they like to be in a well-draining soil and not drenched in too much water. I put it away from direct sunlight for a while and then just let it acclimate to the environment, and eventually it gave me like first, second, third, and there's actually a fourth leaf that is about to sprout out. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but there you go, there's 3 leaves there, and there's one tiny flower that is just blossomed right there. So there you go, Oxalis Triangularis, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. So my first one. Alright, the next one on my plant haul is something that you guys might have seen a lot on Instagram as well. I honestly, during winter or even the previous years or months didn't know that it existed here in Australia or Melbourne for that matter. But when I saw this, I couldn't say no to it, so I did end up purchasing a bunch of them, and I'm hoping to grow them. I don't know if I will sell them in future, but they're just so beautiful. But it's the Hosta. Well, this one's a variegated Hosta, and there's different varieties of it. Okay, so this one is around $10. Okay, but I've seen them sell online for $30 purely because it's hard to find the really healthy ones. Okay, so when you're in the hunt for plants, I would recommend getting one that's actually healthy, because if you get one that's got a lot of parasites or pests and unhealthy roots, then it's just gonna die off anyway. So I'll just recommend you guys to get a plant that, even though it's a bit more expensive, but as long as it's healthy, then that's good. But if you score one that's cheaper, well, that's even better. Okay, so this is a Hosta. Look at that. Okay, and these actually grows giant leaves, okay, once it really establishes itself. And I just love that growth. It almost reminds me of like a snow queen, but this one grows like a philodendron, one of those big ass leaves. So we'll see how we go. I'm kind of scared of planting this in our backyard at the moment because of the direct sunlight, and a lot of my outdoor plants have been burning, to be honest, because it's summer now. So that's that. Alright, the next one on my haul of plants is this pole with a variegated ivy. Okay, another variegated plants. Some of the lower leaves have actually burnt because of direct sunlight. I was trying to see whether or not this would tolerate direct sunlight, and it does, but it will burn. So I've put it in a much more shadier place inside of the house at the moment. But I've been wanting a variegated ivy for so long. Now these guys will actually grow really massive leaves as well. But what really attracted me to this plant is those moon-shaped variegation. As you can see, there's multiple of them, and they're just so nice. Now these ivies are actually weed in some places. And I don't know why I bought one. No, I do. Well, number one, they're beautiful, but number two, if they're like weeds, then I'm assuming that it's gonna be really easy to grow and hard to kill. So I hope that this one really survives. I really wanted to climb up this homemade moss pole that I made, so hopefully that one thrives. So far, it's doing pretty good, so we'll just see how we go. Alright, the next haul that I have is a massive leaf plant. Okay, and you can see it there in the background actually, but I don't know if you can see it properly. So that is the Colocasia Black Magic. And look how majestic this leaf actually looks like. Look how big it is. It's like bigger than my head right there. Okay, so if you guys haven't seen one before, it actually has like this dark, huge as massive alocasia looking leaf, but it's called Colocasia, and I'll tell you guys the difference in a second. But firstly, I want to just turn your attention to its other leaves. So I've got a new growth right here, and as you can see, it's green. And this one was the previous new leaf that just shot out. And as you can see, as it shoots out, it's green. Okay, but eventually as it matures and grows older, it actually then turns dark black. And how awesome is this leaf? Wow. It's just something that I never would have imagined I would get anywhere. Okay, and again, I think I did get it for a good price. I think they probably sell $60 to $100 depending on who the buyer is or who the seller is, but I managed to get this for $40. Now the growth pattern of this is like an alocasia, I think, because as soon as this new shoot came out, the older leaf actually died off, which is kind of sad, but you know, that's just how it is. But in comparison to alocasia, these Colocasia actually loves heaps and heaps of water, as in it would thrive in a pond with just water. Okay, alocasias will die if you put water, but both the alocasia and Colocasias apparently do need to hibernate during winter. So I'm not looking forward to the fact that this will die during winter, but apparently if you let it hibernate during winter, then when spring and summer hits back, then it's gonna grow even more luscious, more beautiful, and even larger leaves. So we'll just see how we go with this one. I'm kind of thinking about whether I want to keep this or not, because it drinks so much water, like honestly a lot of water. If some of the other plants that I have are prone to rotting, this one is just going to raise up my water bill, so I don't know. We'll just see how we go. Alright, on to my next one. So the next one on my plant haul is the Begonia Angelwing Polka Dot Maculata. I don't know, it's got so many names. Please tell me what it really is if you know, but it was labeled as Begonia Polka Dot. And look how nice this is. This one is actually really, really healthy. Look, no visible deformities or issues on it. And this was actually a present from my brother, okay? A housewarming present. Okay, we haven't had a housewarming party yet, but this is an early housewarming present. Actually, he purchased 2 of these online, and then when I saw it at his house, I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. And he had 2 of them, and they were so perfect. And I was just like, can I have one? Initially, he didn't want to give one, but then I was so persuasive that he eventually gave me one. So I'm really happy to finally own one. Honestly, when I was looking online before about this and why people were going crazy about it, I was just like, why would anyone want this? But after seeing it in person and those white, what do you call it, variegations on it actually shines like silver sheens. And at the back of it, it's just like red veining. Look at it. Okay, it's not hard to actually not like this plant. And again, with begonias, I never thought I would like begonias, but this is my second begonia, but I have a third one to show you guys. Alright, so the third plant haul that I want to show you guys is none other than, I keep saying that none other than, but the next one I have on my plant haul is the Begonia Looking Glass, and this one is still a baby, but as you guys can see there, it's pure silver and it's got black veining. Okay, so this is an awesome, majestic plant. Again, I don't know if it really shows in the image there, but when sun actually or light hits directly onto it, it just gives off that shiny look. That's probably why it's called Begonia Looking Glass. No, I don't know. I don't know the significance of it, but this one's so nice. I got this for, can't remember, 30 bucks, 15 bucks. Can't even remember anymore. So yeah, that's that. Begonia Looking Glass. So another plant that I have recently received, or maybe a plant cutting you would call it, it was from my brother as well. Thank you, Mark, or Kuya, I call him, because we're Filipinos, for the plants that you've given. But this one is a Philodendron Squamiferum. I think that's how you say it anyway. Look how nice that is. It looks like a Philodendron Florida, but it's got like this hairy as petiole, is that what you call it? And it's got a new growth, okay, right there. So it's got aerial roots, and I hope it's not rotting, but it's currently propagating in water. I've always been pestering him for one because he's got like this really big ass plant in his lounge area, and I just admired how majestic it looks. Again, very, very unique because of its hairy as stem. I've got all these propagating pothos, which I'm going to make a video in future of it. So I'll tell you guys about that in future. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Alright, the next one on my list of hauls of plant is a giant syngonium butterfly. Okay, very, very common, but very uncommon that you would find such a luscious plant. And this one is actually, well, you know what, maybe I should just tell you guys. So I've actually started selling some plants, and I bought several of these because of how nice, luscious, how healthy it is, and I've been selling them for $35, so hopefully that's not too expensive or not too cheap. Obviously I wouldn't divulge how much I got it for, purely just because of business related matters, but I think $35 is quite an appropriate price for this, and I would buy it for this size. It's quite gigantic, so luscious, so beautiful, and it's in this fat pot. I don't know what size the pots are. Well, if you guys know how to measure pots, please do let me know. I've seen a lot of advertised plants that has plant sizes that are measured laterally. I don't know if it's like the diameter that they measure, but yeah, there. The Syngonium white butterfly. That's a giant. Alright, the next plant that I've hauled, and you guys can see them on the background, or it on the background, is the snake plant. This is my first Sansevieria, believe it or not. Well, it's called Dracaena now, which is really weird. But this is a baby one right here. Looks so nice. It's got like two more leaves there. And is there another one growing in the middle? Not yet. Okay, I haven't watered it since, because apparently they're like succulents and I'm scared that I might rot its roots. But this one's living. Okay, but I also found another humongous one. Alright, let's just grab it here. So I found another humongous one right here. It's not as big actually, it's only like 1 meter or so. So this snake plant attracted my eyes purely because, again, it looked healthy, and I like healthy plants, and I've got the other one that I purchased, but I've never owned like a really big one, so I thought, yay, let's get one. So I got one, and my wife has approved of it, so that's good. Alright, that's those. Alright, moving on to the next one. So the next one that I hold during this time of COVID, the post-lockdown, is the string of pearls. Okay, again, another uncommon plant, or common plant, depending on where you live and how much you've access to this type of plant. But this one is not just any other string of pearls, because if you look at it, it's actually quite luscious. Okay, and if you unfurled it, and I just literally furled it up. Yeah, I furled it up purely because I didn't want it getting ruined while I was transporting this into my office. But I will unfurl it right now and show you guys how long this really is. Just want to be gentle. With string of pearls, it's not as fragile as donkey tails, because honestly, if this was a donkey tail and I was handling it like this, all of its buds or leaves, whatever you would call it, would probably fall off by now. But this is actually pretty hardy. Again, I hope that this one lives, because I'm already seeing some signs of some of its mother leaves in the middle turn a bit crinkly, and they look like they're succulents, so I'm thinking they are succulents. If you guys know better, can you guys comment down below and let me know? So I haven't watered them at all since I bought it like several weeks ago, but ever since I watered it just early this morning, some of its other leaves that was crinkly, I think, started to get rehydrated, which is really good. Alright, so hopefully that'll rehydrate back itself. Otherwise, if it doesn't, well, I don't know. Anyway, look. Oh, wait, it's not even finished being unfurled yet. Alright, sometimes I can get carried away talking to myself, but you could pretty much see the picture of what I'm trying to paint here. Okay, so this is actually quite long. I got this for, I think, 35 bucks. They usually would sell for 20 bucks if it's not like dangling like this. I thought it was a pretty worth it buy, purely because I wanted to own one that's actually really long. So that's that, the string of pearls. Alright, so the next plant that I've hauled, and I know this is really long, but thank you guys for sticking around. I'm pretty sure you guys are also enjoying seeing the different plants that I bought as much as I'm actually, enjoying showing you guys. But the next one that I bought on a plant haul is the Philodendron micans. And yes, I did buy a Philodendron micans in the past. I've unboxed like a plant cutting of micans, but they're not really doing too well, to be honest with you, purely because the other plant that I bought, I honestly dropped my phone on it, and then it literally chopped off every single other leaves, and it's got that one tiny leaf now that's not doing too bad. And then those Philodendron micans cuttings that I bought that was so massive and huge, all of its leaves literally shed, and 30% of the cuttings actually died off because of rot. Maybe it's because it was winter at that time. And some of it survived and are rooting now and has got little buds, but I really wanted to own a Philodendron micans that's already established, and I was very, very fortunate to have found one again, would you believe it, in a local nursery. Okay, you would never find these in local nurseries, although in Queensland they've apparently sold micans in Bunnings. I don't know if they are healthy, but this one's quite healthy. And I'm very, very picky with the plants that I get now. So this is a Philodendron micans, so not very common, but not uncommon either, and not rare, but yay, finally I got one. Hopefully this one thrives this time. It was infested with ants, okay, I repotted it, so all those ants are gone, hopefully, so that's that. And trust me guys, we're nearly there. Okay, so the second last plant that I want to show you guys is a Monstera. Actually, the last two plants I'm going to show you guys are Monsteras. So the first of those two last plants I want to show you is the Philodendron, it's called Philodendron minima. I just said Monstera, right? So this one's a Monstera, a mini Monstera, or Philodendron minima. Those are some of the names that I've heard of it. And look how big and luscious it is. Alright, I'm so in love with luscious plants. I did buy one several months ago, a small tiny one for 15 bucks. I think this one's like $29 or $39. And the thing that I like about this is that it has 5 growth points. Okay, so it looks very, very tropical. Look at this leaf right there. Look how perfectly nice it is. The other one's growing and it's good, but this one's just got 5 growth points, so this one's gonna be like really, really bushy. And alright guys, so because of this video being too long, it actually ended up cutting the camera automatically, so I'm gonna just repeat some of the things that I said before. So as I was saying, this leaf that it has is just so majestic, and I'm hoping that this one will grow really, really bushy in future, and you know, maybe I will make multiple cuttings of this to make more plants. I don't know if they're for selling though, really. They're really nice though. Yeah, so that's that Philodendron minima or mini Monstera. So nice. And we finally got there, finally. Okay, and the very, very last plant that I've saved for last, okay, it's not that big, but it's something that I really, really wanted ever since I saw it, and it's probably my ultimate plant wish list for this 2020, and I can't believe I finally obtained one, and that is the Monstera siltepecana El Salvador. Okay, so if you guys can see there, maybe I'll bring it a little bit closer. It's got that really nice silver sheen, and it's got 4 leaves, and I was very, very fortunate enough to have obtained one. Oh dang, it's got like tiny mold growth down there, but I'm very, very fortunate to have finally obtained one. Okay, right there. And apparently they grow really, really big and tall. Actually, I'll show you guys a photo down here. If you guys haven't seen my uncommon plant wish list, I think that's where it was. Yeah, so that's one of them. And I finally obtained it. So good. I've actually got this, and this is not something that I bought just now or after the COVID lockdown, but I've actually got a normal siltepecana that I've been growing, and look how nice it is right there. It started off with 4 leaves as well, but look how well it's been. And I thought, yes, I'm ready for a siltepecana El Salvador, so bring it on. Alright, and that's pretty much it guys. I hope that you guys liked this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing all those different plants that I bought. If you guys like this video, then please click that like button. If you want to see me make more videos like this, then please go on and hit that subscribe button. It just really helps to really promote this channel out in the wider plant community as well. If you guys have any suggestions, then please jot them down in the comments down below. Now, I have been getting a lot more engagement than I did in the past before, both on my Instagram channel, private life with all my other friends, and also the YouTube channel. And I am taking into consideration all those videos that you guys want me to make. However, because this is something that I feel like I needed to make now, because I'm accumulating so much plants that I thought I'd make it now. So I hope that you guys will still continue to support me. I am keeping in mind some of those things that you want me to make in the future, and I will make them for you guys. to the best of my abilities as well. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope to see you guys on the next video. Until then, goodbye and God bless.